What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kiya and J Studios. It's your boy Jay.
It's your girl Kiya.
And today we have breaking news: The Flash.
Yes. Alright guys, so as you guys might have known, they have officially started the filming and production of the Flash movie. If y'all recall, and I think it was, we did the Green Lantern movie or something like that, the Green Lantern video where we talked about whether or not they'll be making a John Stewart Green Lantern movie, which I'll put that in the description so you guys can watch that.
For those who don't know who John Stewart is, Black Green Lantern.
Anyway, yeah, so it was that one. So like, so we touched on that a little bit. Jalon mentioned that they'll be making a Flash movie. I personally was just like, I didn't really give it too much attention. I was like, yeah, sure they will, but I didn't realize that they're actually making one this soon. I didn't realize that. We're gonna talk about it honestly, like our thoughts about it. Like we know there's not really much information. What we do know is that it's supposed to release November 4th in 2022. And as you guys know, if you guys have seen the Justice League movie, which I'm sure you have, you already know who played Flash in the movie. I personally...
Ezra Millier, don't like him.
I personally didn't like him as the Flash, but we'll get into that a little bit. So if you guys don't know what the movie is supposed to be about, the Flash will be loosely based off of a 2011 DC comic book called Flashpoint. And so, yeah, I'll put the thing up there so you guys can kind of read what it's supposed to be about. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. You guys know I'm a DC fan, so I'm usually the one that's like, okay, but we gotta give it a chance. I'm gonna give this one a chance a little bit, but I'm already at that place where I just don't expect much from this movie.
It's too early for Flashpoint. That's my thing. Yeah. Is that you haven't even established how the heck he became Flash. You know, how did he get his suit?
Exactly.
Like, we don't know anything about this new Flash. And I'll put it like this. This is how we know the movie's going to be bad. This is how we know this is going to be a classic, too much going on DC movie. Mm-hmm. Ezra Millier as Flash, Barry Allen. Michael Keaton as Batman. Now, we know Michael Keaton was the original. He was one of the original Batmans. Right. We love Michael Keaton as Batman, but for me, it doesn't make sense that he would be in the first movie. Mm-hmm. Ben Affleck as Batman. So we got two Batmans.
So Ben Affleck is supposed to be
Ben Affleck is also going to be. I think this is Flashpoint, so we're most likely looking at two different universes. Right. Obviously, we have Kiersey Clemons as Iris West Allen. She was in Snyder Cut as well as in the Snyder Cut version. Kara Zor-El. For those who don't know who Kara Zor-El is, that's Supergirl. And she'll be played by Sasha Calle. And I think I like this casting. I know a little bit of her work, so I think I like this casting. I'm not sure about it yet, but like I said, DC has a real problem with story development, and they also have a real problem with script writing. So she might be good for the part, just like I felt like Kristen Wiig was great for the Cheetah part, but they wound up figuring out a way to screw that up. For this, I'm not sure, but why is Supergirl in a movie with Flash for Flash's first movie?
That's a good question.
Ray Fisher. For those who don't know who Ray Fisher is, Cyborg from Justice League and Snyder Cut. So now I'm looking at this. What are you doing?
Right. This
is supposed to be Flash's first movie where we get to actually understand this Flash. Why the heck does he run so ugly? I want to know. Did nobody teach him?
We're gonna
put a clip of that in this video. Yeah. And they need to fix the way Flash runs. I'm tired of seeing that.
He seems to be like,
what is this? What is it? Who runs like? I want to know somebody. Hey, if you run like that, post it on Instagram and tag us in it.
I just say that's one thing that bothered me about the Flash is definitely the run. I didn't like the run at all.
And not to mention
only just that, but I mean, what made us like? Because honestly, I wasn't gonna make a movie about I wasn't gonna make a video about this, but then I had a conversation with my dad a little bit earlier, and he was asking me, so it seems like you're more of a Marvel fan now, and I was kind of explaining why, and I told him I brought up the Flash movie. I was like, this is a perfect example of what pisses me off about DC. I mean, if you look at what I think would be smart is if they actually got characters that matched up with the series. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like how Marvel has. So in movies, I feel like they always, when it comes to DC with storylines, I feel like it has a lot to do. Like they focus a lot on like the backstory, trying to develop the character. But when you have this, a series that actually like focuses on that, like it develops the character out, kind of how Marvel did. Like you had the movies, right? And you make a series.
They had all of the characters' movies really set, and the characters that didn't need movies, they paired them up in a way to where it wasn't so intrusive on the character's movie. For example, Iron Man. So many characters were introduced into the Marvel Universe via Iron Man, but you don't remember them particularly being in that movie. For example, Black Widow was introduced through the Iron Man series. Nick Fury was introduced through the Iron Man series. Before Mark Ruffalo became Hulk, the previous Hulk from the Incredible Hulk movies, he was introduced via the Iron Man movies. But what's telling me is that these people are going to be major components in this movie is because they're talking about Flashpoint. The movie is going to be based on Flashpoint. And Flashpoint, for those who don't know what Flashpoint is basically where you're looking at multiple different Earths. Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3. And it's too early. When in Flash's real story, Flash doesn't encounter Flashpoint until a little bit later on. That's after Zoom. So, after Reverse Flash. So it doesn't really make sense to me that you would start off, and they're doing the same thing like what they did with Justice League, where instead of giving Ben Affleck's Batman a movie so that we can understand why he is the way that he is, they just took him and mixed him with the Man of Steel, and then they threw Wonder Woman in there too. They're trying to make it to where, oh, look at all these names. Look who's all going to be in this movie so that you come see it, as opposed to actually just giving us a movie of the character that we're going to see and let us enjoy that character. Let us begin to like that character.
Yeah, it's just like, I feel like they're not giving it the opportunity. Like I was saying earlier, I was just
aren't giving Ezra Miller's Flash a chance.
They're not. They're really
to stand on his own and see if he can actually be a movie.
Right, exactly. And I was saying before, like, the thing is, when you get characters, like, I feel like just you need to decide on who's gonna play these heroes and stick with that person. Like, for example, like like I was saying, like before with the Marvel characters, you don't have two people playing the same role.
Exactly.
So it makes it confusing. We already have DC shows now where you already attached to the. We already have the Flash. He's been out for years. So we're used to seeing him. You have the Green Arrow. You have all these other people. So I'm just like, stick to one and then go with that.
I think that Flash, the guy who plays Flash, and the Flash show is a little bit too sensitive, and he's not a good enough actor to actually perform in a movie.
That's kind of the same as I feel about the new Flash.
Exactly, and I feel the same way. I don't feel like he's that, like I said, I think that they should give him a chance to stand alone in his own movie to at least see if he can handle that. But part of what made us love the Avenger movies is that these were characters who stood alone well in their movies, and you're putting them together. Captain America has a great set of movies in his own right. Iron Man has his own great set of movies. Thor has his own great set of movies as well. So you're looking at characters who were sort of built separately, and they're great standalone characters, but then you're bringing together almost a super cast. But that's not what we're getting. All we're getting is a cast with Justice League. That's the
same thing. Like, we got the Justice League movie. It's just kind of like, that's supposed to be a powerful moment.
It's just the cast. Because these characters were never established on their own.
They have been established, and they made a movie with all of them together. It would say that would be right. That right there would be more special than what they did before. They just kind of tossed everything together with everybody not really having a good like storyline. They're trying to put it all together so it makes sense. But I'm just like, no, you got to actually take time to develop these characters individually before you just put them like make a movie like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, literally, DC has so much potential, which is why I was a big fan, because it's like it's good, but I'm just like, they're not doing what's necessary to make it to show how good it is. So they have the perfect opportunity to start from scratch. You know what I'm saying? Like, to reevaluate everything, start actually doing things right, getting like these individual heroes and like kind of developing them better, and then like, you know, just start from scratch. Then I see this Flash movie, and at that point I was just kind of like, they're not doing anything different. They're pretty much just gonna give us the same stuff. I feel like it's gonna be like a huge disappointment.
I mean, I also don't see why it makes sense for you to, why you're making a new Batman, because keep in mind there is supposed to be a new Batman, but you're still using two old Batmans. What are you gonna do? Cast Christian Bale next for another Batman? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Stick
with one. You're confusing people. Like, are we gonna keep seeing Ben Affleck in movies, or are we gonna see the new Batman? I don't want to keep getting tossed between multiple different storylines.
Exactly.
And that's what it seems like they're so
I just don't understand.
Intent on doing. And I mean, the fact that this is a Flash movie, but in the picture I'm seeing Batman who's bigger than Flash. I'm not even like, I'm seeing this like, what? Look at this.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what does Batman have to do with Flash?
And you look at a lot of the characters that they chose, even though there's clearly guys who could have played the part better. Like I explained who could have played Cyborg better in a previous video, and he would have been costed a little bit more.
Yeah.
But he would have played the part great, and he would have drew box office. They don't want to have to pay people. It's like the only people that we should have to pay is Superman and Batman. These are only people who should cost money for us.
I don't mind them getting smaller like actors and actresses like for these parts. It's just the fact that it's just like get people that actually would fit in that, you know, like at least like somebody with like some great potential to be in these parts. I personally didn't really care too much, but I personally didn't care too much for the guy who played Flash. I'm saying he did like a bad job. I just really didn't feel that like, you know, I didn't feel like that connection like with him.
We know Flash, and he's not it.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like. I feel like if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna start from scratch, get people who are gonna play these parts well. Yeah, they just need to find people who can make. You gotta find somebody who, first of all, makes the part their own, but also has that comic book, can give off that comic book aura of what everybody knows and recognizes. Yeah, I feel like it also plays a part with the storyline, because even though somebody might not look like they could play the part, it's all about the storyline as well. So if you're not having a storyline that's gonna compel people to like be drawn to this person, then it's just like, what's the point?
There's a reason why DC Comics are as popular as they are. And even though a lot of DC's origin stories and everything like that and their storylines are just straight up dumb, people love them. Like, so stick with what works. Marvel, you can afford to make a tweak here and a tweak there because the storylines are a little bit flatter. But since you have such round, such round storylines for DC, use them. Stick to the comics and at least test and see how that works, as opposed to trying to create your own story, which clearly hasn't been working.
Right. So this is kind of like our first look, guys. We don't really have a lot of information on it. There's no trailer or anything like that yet. So I feel like once we see the trailer, we'll kind of know a bit of what we're gonna get. But this is like our first like initial thoughts of it, like about it, and like it's not very good. Personally, I'm not very excited about it. I don't think really anybody's excited about it, to be honest with you. Like I think everybody's kind of like kind of mixed feelings. But let us know in the comments what you think. Do you like the new Flash that they have? Did you like his performance in Justice League and stuff like that? Like, let us know.
We may be, because we're not saying that we're right about every casting. We may be wrong. Yeah. Just give us your opinion as to what you thought about it. Maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you feel differently. Drop it in the comments section.
Let us know. But that's like our initial thoughts on it. So yeah, let us know that, guys. Yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our social medias. Follow us on there. Get involved in the polls and all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Post for the thumbnail.